Where'd your name come from?
Well, my name Jose, and you know, coming up, my real name is Joe. So coming up, everybody always, you know, had nicknames in the hood. So they like, we gonna call you Jose. And it kind of came from people would be like, you look Arab or Mexican or something. So it just kind of stuck from there. And ever since then, I'm like, just been rocking with Jose.
What's your ethnicity?
I'm black, African American.
Do people still think you're Mexican or whatever?
From time to time, like certain people, but you know, the majority, they know, like, yeah, African American.
Now, why use your real name into your name? Because some people, especially rappers, they don't use, they have a totally made up alias or something completely away from their government
what
name.
they are.
Yeah.
It just kind of gravitated to me. I really didn't look for a name. It kind of came to me, and that just stuck. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna rock out with that instead of trying to come up with a name and, you know, an alias and all that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna take what the people take to.
Did you have any other rap aliases before previously?
Nah, that was just like what it was. Like coming up, you know what I'm saying? They went with that, and I'm like, hey, let's just rock out with that. Well, I try to come up with something different when, you know, it's already set in stone.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, downtown.
Still living there?
Yeah, still living there.
What's your opinion of the state of rap music right now in Cincinnati?
It's in a good space. It's just like we really don't got no mainstream artists, so it's like it's hard to break through because everybody trying to break through at once. So it's like everybody kind of pulling each other instead of lifting each other. So it's like everybody want to be that first artist to be like, oh, I pop from here. So it's kind of hard, and you know, everybody in a kind of competition. But far as talent though, like it's definitely a lot of talent. We got a lot of talented artists in the city.
Can this be fixed? Is there a solution to the problem?
Yeah, just like, you know what I mean? You got to do like every city that's winning. You got to help each other out. Like we got to build each other up. Like when I go somewhere, I try to tell other people about artists that I'm rocking with or people from the city, period. Like when I do CDs, I put other artists on there just to push them too.
Give me a tour of Cincinnati for somebody that's never been there before. Let's start with the food. Favorite food spot in the city?
Favorite food spot, it would probably have to be, let me see, a Cincinnati spot that Alabama's fish. Like Snoop, everybody brag on the fish. Like it's one spot. It's so small, but it's like only one in the city, and Alabama fish probably the favorite food spot.
What do you order?
I gotta get the whiting dinner.
What about the nightlife? Favorite strip club in the city?
We don't got strip clubs, but the nightlife, yeah, it's pretty lit. Like we got Club Cameo, the Avenue, Celebrities, yeah.
Regular clubs?
Yeah.
Why no strip clubs?
They ain't passed the law yet, so like we have to go to like Kentucky, which is like right across the bridge. But
what city in Kentucky?
Covington.
And how are the women there? Full nude? Just topless?
To be honest, I never even went in there, like, cause it's not real. I'm like, oh, ain't nothing in there I need to see.
As far as regular clubs, what's your favorite regular club in the city?
Regular club.
You mentioned a couple.
Yeah, my favorite probably had to be, well, we had this club, The Mix, so they switched it over to the OTR Live, so that's probably one of them. That's probably favorite club.
First time somebody visiting Cincinnati. We talked about the food, we talked about the nightlife. Anything else you recommend someone see, do, or visit while they're in town?
If you like to gamble, you gotta hit the casino. I mean, don't let it break you, but you know, the casino, it's called Jack's. We got the city coming up, so like you have to, but let me see. You will have to probably, you gotta stop down Lynn Street. You can't come to Cincinnati without coming down Lynn. Gotta come down Lynn Street.
What about the lingo? What are some terms or some phrases one might hear in Cincinnati right about now?
Oh yeah, you come to Cincinnati, you're gonna hear foolie, you're gonna hear bruh, you know what I mean? Like it's a bunch of lingo now. We crazy with the lingo. Like a lot of lingo you start hearing, it definitely came from there. Like, yeah, perping, you know what I mean? Like you lying. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere else though, but yeah, like lingo crazy.
What about the other terms? What do they mean?
The other terms, bruh, that's like brother. You know, fooly, that's just like you my guy. You know what I mean? You know, what's up, bruh? It's the same thing, but you know, fooly, fool. What's up, fool?
As far as events, are there any events you recommend someone come to Cincinnati specifically for? Like, for example, in New Orleans, Mardi Gras is like a week-long celebration. Anything in Cincinnati?
We got the Jazz Festival. It ain't like it used to be, but it's coming up though. It's coming back up. You know, Taste of Cincinnati. We got some crazy events.
What are these events?
The Taste of Cincinnati. You said when or where?
No, what are they?
The Taste of Cincinnati is like a big event where it's like 2-3 days where you can come in town and it's just a bunch of foods like from all over the city and all over the like world. And then the Jazz Festival is like a big jazz weekend where not only jazz artists, but they have a bunch of artists like come to the stadiums and all over. Like, so it's a big weekend.
Now, what was it like for you growing up in Cincinnati? Paint the picture for us.
Growing up, you know what I mean, it was tough like every other kid in the hood, you know, coming out. I'm the oldest of 9. So, cause you can imagine that, like, you know what I mean, struggle like everybody else, you know, you in the hood, you gotta share rooms, share clothes with your brother, your sister, you gotta make sure everybody good. And being that I'm the oldest of 9, I had to kind of mature quick, cause everybody else was following me, so I had to be the one to lead. And it was tough, but you know what I mean, like, I just had to stand up.
9 siblings all in one household, under one roof?
Yeah, under one roof.
How did that work? Like 4 in a room, 5 in a room?
I mean, it was actually like, we had a 3-bedroom. It was actually like 12 of us because a few of my cousins would come and stay from time to time. So it was a little bit more. And, you know, like I got both of my parents, but they weren't together. So we all in the house with my mama. And, you know what I mean, it was tough because 3-bedroom, 11 kids, you know what I mean? So you got to sleep in the bed. You know, some of your cousins might pee on themselves when they kids. So, you know, it was hectic. You had to share everything. So me being the oldest, like I knew like I had to do something to make it where everybody else, you know, be cool. So I sacrificed, like I would always take less just to let them have the more. Like that's just how it was.
Do you have a relationship with your father to this day?
Oh yeah, that's my guy. You know, we 100%. He just wasn't in the household. They split, but he the reason, you know, I might be still here. If he wasn't around, no telling how bad things could have got.
What type of student were you growing up?
Man, to be honest with you, I was kind of terrible in school as far as like, it really wasn't my thing. I couldn't, you know, get into it like that. I wasn't like a dumb student. I was smart, but I felt like I knew more than the teachers. Like, so why am I here? Well, I got to sit here. Ain't none of this going to apply to real life. So I'm like, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't advise nobody to feel like that because you need your education.
Did you graduate high school?
Nah, I ended up getting my GED. I got kicked out of Cincinnati Public, but I went to homeschool and I ended up finishing, but with all my, what I have, it was some kind of, I had to pay to get my degree, so I'm like, man, forget it. And I ended up getting in some trouble where I had to get my GED to get enrolled in community college for a while.
What year did you get kicked out? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
My sophomore year.
What'd you get kicked out for?
And just talking back. And then I wasn't even like going to school. I would just skip. And then, you know, I actually had went to juvenile for it. Like they sent me to juvenile for a week for truancy, not going, and thinking it's gonna change me. It still didn't. So they like, well, we're gonna have to kick you out. Me and the principal had words, and you know.
So you tried community college.
Yeah.
How much of it did you do?
Man, I probably
freshman, sophomore, junior.
Nah, I probably went for like 2 months. I'm like, man, this shit ain't for me.
Now, what do you tell someone thinking about enrolling into college, right? Because there's different views on it.
Yeah.
Some people say you need college. Some people say you don't need college. Some people drop out,
right,
like you did,
right,
and later on become successful in life, like Bill Gates or Kanye West did.
Right.
And some people say maybe a trade school.
Right.
Some people say, some people go to college, get a degree, and don't end up having a job they got the degree in. They end up doing something completely different.
Exactly.
What do you say to someone thinking about enrolling into college?
Like, it's actually what's in your heart, really, because, like, if that's what you want to do, you're going to finish it. You're not going to quit. But if that's not, don't go because someone else saying it's the thing to do. Because you might find yourself in debt with, you know what I mean, just for going because you thought that's what you wanted or someone else told you that's what you want. If you're going to go, make sure that's what you want to do. Like, don't just do it because it seemed like the right thing to do. But it's important if you're trying to, you know, find you a job in the field that you're in because you could learn a lot. I'm not going to just tell you, like, hey, you just don't have to go. But it's a choice, though, rather than you have to do it. Because like you say, it's a lot of successful people that never even been to college. And then you find some of the people who got degrees. Like I know a person right now with a degree and they working at a job making like minimum wage. And it's like, you did all that hard work to do this. And so it's all according to what you want out of life and how you gonna go about getting it. But me personally, like, it wasn't for me.
If you could go back in time, would you have finished out and gone to college, or did you make the right decision by quitting?
I would have finished high school, but college, I still don't know, because I don't want to feel like I quit nothing. I always was told, you know, finish what you start, so definitely high school, but college, I still ain't sure. I mean, I don't know, probably not.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Growing up, I always, well, like, you know what I'm saying, my pops always taught me to work for what you want. So coming up, I remember my first job was at this place, CCY, and I would do CCY Monday through Friday. Then on the weekends, we would do like the little door store. We pass out like they have the coupons, and we would pass them door to door. So I always had a way of making money. But once I got older and it was like, I started working at the like warehouses, and I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't for me. You know, so after that, I was pretty much like, you know what, I ain't working for nobody else.
What does that stand for, CCY?
It's Cincinnati Community Youth.
Okay.
And they like give the youth jobs. They don't have it no more, but you know, when I was coming up a teenager, it was like they had it.
Did you quit that job or get fired from it?
Nah, it was a summer program. So
okay.
I finished all the way through until we went back to school.
Any crazy stories dealing with that job? Anything out of the norm?
Nah, not really doing a job. But it was a pretty much cool place because I worked at the community center. All I did was clean up, and you know, I was around a lot of my peers and people I, you know, knew, so it was like pretty cool. I got in there, did my work, left out. That was pretty much it. So it wasn't really, you know, crazy stories with that.
Now you mentioned having both parents in your life, but they separated.
Yeah.
What age were you when did they separate?
I might have been like maybe like 6 or 7.
Okay. And you mentioned you have 9 siblings?
Yeah.
Including you, or?
Nah, with me.
Oh, with you, yeah, that's right, okay. Now, how many brothers, how many sisters?
I got 5 brothers and 3 sisters.
Anybody else raps aside from yourself?
Nah, I'm the only one.
What does your family think about your rap career?
They love it. I mean, they pushed me to do it, really, because I always had the talent to do it. But coming up, I was real like the shy one in the family. But I was the oldest, and everybody looked up to me, and they knew I was good at it. So they like, yeah, you need to do this, and they would put me up to rap with people or rap against people. So it was more so like they seen the potential before I actually seen it.
Have they been to one of your shows?
Oh
seen
man,
you perform?
like they've been to all my shows. Like even my mama. Only one who don't come to my shows probably my pop, and it's because he really not like a club person, but he'll support like anything I need to get where I need to go. And he would come, but I'd be like, nah, you know, that ain't your thing.
In regards to your parents, what's the worst thing you put them through?
Oh man, just like, you know, like this whole school thing. I would skip school, get in trouble, you know, would just like getting caught up in little different things, you know what I mean, catching cases. But I never really, you know, being the oldest, I always had to watch what I did. So a lot of things that I could have got into, I didn't, and it was because like, okay, I'm the one setting the example. So I gotta kind of be brief on what I do, like try not to do too much.
What's your message to the youth, overall speaking?
My message would be like to follow your dream and do what make you happy, because we live in a world where majority of the people gonna settle because they're afraid of what the other people gonna think about them, or, oh, you can't do this, this is impossible, like, this is, you know, they gonna go off of what someone else, like, and like, I done been through that, like, where it was once somebody who afraid to chase their dream, and so they telling me what I can't do, but then I had to snap out, like, you know, this is my life, like, I gotta do what makes me happy, and, you know, even if I don't be a big superstar, like, this just something I love to do and I always love to do, like, and I really got serious with it, like, once I lost my brother and a few of my cousins. I'm like, oh, life real. Because before that, it was really like, okay, I would be sometime and doing it, and then once that hit, it was like, okay, you need to do this, get in your bag and really take it serious.
How'd you lose your brother?
Well, he was killed. He got shot. He was going to college. Like, this is my first, well, he wasn't the first in my family to go. Like, well, my immediate family, he was the first to go. And while he was up at school, someone tried to come in his apartment and rob him, and they shot and killed him.
Like a home invasion?
Yeah, home invasion.
Was he targeted? Or was it like some random home invasion type thing?
Nah, he might have been targeted. You know, it was kind of street stuff in a sense, but, you know, he was away from that. You know, he was still at school, but, you know, we come from the street, so we still got that, but we try to keep him away from that.
When did that happen, as far as your age?
This happened in 2012. It'd be probably like 20, maybe about 24 at the time. Yeah,
something relatively recent then?
Yeah.
A few years ago?
Yeah.
Is he the only sibling that passed away?
Yeah, that's my only sibling that I lost, yeah.
How'd you get into rap music?
Well, like, coming up, you know, listening to Tupac and Master P, and they used to inspire me, like, so me, my little brothers, and my cousins, like, I would have them, and we'd be in the house, and we'd get a brush or whatever, something, and just start rapping, and so it came natural. Like, I was just always a fan of hip-hop, like, growing up, like, my house, like, the music loud, my mom and them playing the music, uncles playing it, you know, you in the streets, wherever you're doing, it just was around me, so it kind of gravitated to me, but the thing was, like, I just had to find a way to get into it because I was so, like, shy, and I really didn't talk a lot, but I always would write raps and, you know, do little different things, but I never let nobody hear him but my brother, and then he just, hey, y'all ain't better than my brother, like, he hotter than all, you know how it goes, so then from there, it just, like, the neighborhood started knowing, like, okay, then people will tell me, like, you need to take it serious, then next thing you know, I'm like, you know what, why not pursue it?
What age were you?
Well, like, I knew how to rap since I was probably about 6 or 7, but when I really knew, like, okay, it's time to take it serious, I might have been 20.
How many years would you say you've been perfecting your craft for?
I've been perfecting it my whole life, but I would say, like, from 21 now, I'm still perfecting it. I'm not perfect yet. I'm gonna be perfecting it for a while.
How many years would you say that is?
That's gonna take?
No, how many years from 21 to now? How many years is that?
8. I would say about 8 years.
Do you remember your first rap or what you were rapping about back then?
Man, like, you know, I come from a family that they was in the streets, so I would be around them rapping, so I would only know what they was doing, like, you know what I mean, for my uncles and being around them, so I was rapping about drugs.
When it comes to the music industry, what bothers you the most about it at this point? What's your biggest pet peeve with it, if anything?
I think, like, the attention, you know, the things that people do for the fame, it's like, I really ain't feeling it, because a lot of things that they doing I really won't do, like, or I don't make a fool of myself to get no fame or nothing like that. Like, if I'm not known off of my talent or you're not feeling my music, I'm not gonna do nothing crazy for no attention. So I feel like a lot of times people do stuff like these reality shows and all this, I feel like they belittle themselves, or, you know what I mean, just for some attention.
Who do you blame for that?
Social media. Social media changed the world. It's a gift and a curse, though, because you can take off overnight, but then like it make the world so much smaller.
Can this be fixed? Do you see this being fixed? Is there a solution to this problem?
I don't think it can be fixed, but you know anything can get better over time. I mean, then it's it's like it's a new generation too, so we can't always expect the same. Like things gonna grow. It's not gonna be like how it was in the '90s, or with time things change. So I can't say it's gonna just change, but it might get better though.
Top 3 things you need in the studio.
Top 3 things I need. Uh, I just need the beats, the engineer, and what else? Maybe a water or something. That's about it.
What kind of water?
I mean, Fiji water, a Gatorade, anything.
Craziest studio story, if you have one.
Craziest studio story. Oh, I was in a studio one time, and it was a bunch of us in there. And I think somebody called and said that the studio was getting robbed or something, or the place was getting robbed. I mean, it might have been in a house, somebody's house at the time. And police was everywhere outside, knocking on the door to see what was going on. And, we looking out like, and there was a few people in the house with like guns on them, so everybody kind of nervous, but it turned out cool though.
I'm sure you come across a variety of beats.
Yeah.
Has there been any beat you received that you passed on that became a bigger song for somebody else?
Let's see. You know what? I bought a beat one time from a guy from my city, and then I did the song and I did the video, and the people in the city was feeling the song. The next thing you know, I heard Lil Wayne and Birdman on the beat. So I called him like, hey, did you hear them on that beat, or did you get them that beat? And he like, well, I sent them some beats a while ago, but I didn't know they chose the beat. And I think it ended up being on one of Birdman mixtapes.
Do you remember the song?
I think it's Everywhere I Go. And my song was called I'm On.
What's the realest song you ever wrote so far in your whole catalog of music?
The realest song I ever wrote? It probably gotta be Gotta Feel Me.
What's that about?
It's just about what I was going through at the time, like when I lost my brother, because he was the closest person to me. Like, he was the person that motivated me to do the music. Like, he seen the potential in me that I ain't seeing myself. So it was like, this was around the time I was going through it, and it was like, because it was a time where I'm like, you know what, the music wasn't nothing getting better. It was like I was in the same position. You know what I'm saying? You in the hood, you dead broke, you got a dream, but you like, I'm gonna get it. Like, so I told him one time, like, right before he passed, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna just fall back on the music and, get a job or something and he told me like, man, this music for you. He was like, that's you. How you gonna fall back from doing what make you happy and what you love? He was like, everything gonna happen in due time. And so like, after he passed, it was like, I kinda had to, get my mind right, and that was the first song I went in the studio and recorded.
Risk versus reward. What's the biggest risk you took for your music career so far?
Oh man, like, to be honest with you, like, I was hustling for studio time. So, you in the streets doing something you really don't want to do, but it was like, I'm gonna use this to make this pop. So it was like I'm taking the risk of, my freedom to make my career take off.
Proudest accomplishment so far in your music career?
The proudest thing is just learning the business side. Like, I never had no one teach me the game. Like, I never had no managers or nothing like that really put me in position, or so it was like I had to learn how to copyright my own music, to talk to the lawyers, to get with ASCAP, and to put it online, and I had to learn all that by myself. So it was like I learned from experience.
What's the biggest misconception of you?
I would have to say, like, a lot of times, I'm kind of a quiet person. Like, I'm laid back, but I'm a real nice, cool person if you get to know me. But a lot of times, because I don't say nothing, people assume that, like, oh, he think he, might be better, or he too good to speak.
Craziest rumor you heard about yourself?
Man, I done heard rumors that you know, people was running around was saying like, oh, I heard you and another person, you know, murdered somebody, and just a bunch of crazy stuff. Like some people were saying that I was getting 50,000 for a show. I just heard all type of rumors, like, you know.
Both of those rumors false?
Yeah, false. Nah, definitely not getting 50,000, and nah, I ain't, you know.
Not yet.
Yeah, nah, not yet.
Do you care what people think of you?
Now I'm at the point where I don't care, because it's like at the end of the day, can't nobody judge you. Like, it's your life to live. I used to care though. I used to care a lot because I always wanted everybody to like me. I'm like, I'm this cool dude, you know. I help anybody. I look out for people, and then after a while, like, it was like it ain't get me nowhere caring what they thought, and it just held me back from what I really wanted to do. Like, or I would be not afraid, but I didn't want to tell a person how I really felt about something, because I felt they would take it another way, and then it was like, well, hold on, I'm hurting them by not telling them how I really feel. So once I just stopped caring, I tell people how I feel or whatever, and it's like, however you take it, it is what it is. Like, you can't judge me. Like, you're not God. You can't put me in heaven or hell. So
what are your keys to success?
the keys to success, well, you know, success to me is different from a lot of people. Success is being happy, being able to wake up and do what you love to do. So some people's success is because they rich, or some people like, are you famous, so you successful? Like, that's not my type of success. So I would say the keys to it is doing what you love, and, you know what I mean, doing it with the people that you love.